Today we are talking about 1 inch from diamonds, why most people quit before their breakthrough. Most people are 1 inch away from diamond when they quit. There's a famous image that you probably have seen of two miners digging underground. One of them stops digging. He's exhausted. He's frustrated. He's convinced that there is no reason and no purpose for him to keep going. How many of you feel like that today? Especially with war going on, especially with all the news about the Epstein files and all of this nasty news and nasty propaganda on our timeline. It can be easy to feel like, is it even worth digging for diamonds anymore? Is life even going to ease up? But here is the message. You must keep going. Now, the man who stops, he was digging, he's exhausted, he's frustrated. He was this close to the diamonds. In dental terms, millimeters away. You might be millimeters away from your breakthrough, and you do not recognize the signs that, damn, my breakthrough is right here, and this is the moment where it's meant for me to quit, but I'm going to be different and be rare and do something most people don't do. And that's keep going. How many of us are going to keep going when it gets exhausting, frustrating, convinced that it ain't even fucking worth it? So the other miner, on the other hand, he's a little bit further away, but he just keeps swinging the pickaxe. He keeps going. He's just full of energy. He don't give a damn about the drama in the news. He don't care about the haters, the naysayers. He don't care about the things that he lacks. He doesn't care about how he started. He doesn't care about what he don't have. He just want to keep digging for diamonds because he believes that there's diamonds there. He may not concede that there's diamonds there, but they are there, right? Now that's the crazy part of this whole story. The diamonds are literally right on the other side of the wall. It just takes one more swing. It just takes one more attempt, one more day for you to keep pushing through, right? It just takes one more day. But guess what happened with the first miner? He quit. So today's episode is talking about that exact moment in life. It's talking about that exact moment. The moment when you're tired. The moment when your results are slowest. The moment when you're questioning everything. I know with my podcast, I was uploading and I've been doing this for about, I would say 3 years. I was going hard and I slow down and I go hard. And then I got to the point this year, I was like, damn, I don't think nobody really listening to my podcast. I was going to Buzzsprout because that's where I host my podcast on. I just kept going until this year I felt a little defeated. I would get one download. Sometimes them downloads be me. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. That's just like, let me download my own podcast before anybody else would. So I was doing that for a while. Dang, maybe my message isn't converting, or maybe I don't have the sauce, or I don't know. I started to get in my own damn head. And we could do that. And that's why the guy stopped digging the first time, because he got in his own head. He got frustrated. He was convinced that nothing was happening. And I saw myself in this moment this week, actually. And I'm going to tell y'all what happened that made me turn around and be live here with you right now. Don't worry about the likes. When you make a decision to dig for diamonds in your life, you have to know that you're going to be met with some days where you're frustrated. You just want to walk away. You just want to give up. But the moment when you thought about walking away is when you start to see the diamonds. So then you get a little boost of energy. You know what? I see a diamond peeking through. This is what happened to me, guys. I saw a diamond peeking through. I logged into my podcast and I was like, 75 downloads in a week. What's going on? What? 200 downloads? And I'm like, what the? Because I was at 0 downloads. I was at 0 listeners with, I don't know, 50, 60 episodes. And it's like, do I keep going? We're glad you didn't quit. We've been here for you for about a year. Your story, hold on, I can't really see. It says, we've been following you for about a year and your story is so inspirational. Thank you, Team Us Too. I really appreciate that. I try to inspire people because I know how hard it is to make it through anything, through dental school, through poverty, through just not believing in yourself, through the lack of self-confidence, the lack of self-respect sometimes, the lack of the ambition to defeat procrastination. I've dealt with that all entrepreneurship. So my only goal is to inspire people to never quit. So 3 years, that's a long time. And honestly, for a long time, the downloads, they stayed small. You start to think, is anyone even listening to me? Does what I'm doing even matter? Should I start something else? Have you been one of those people who you keep starting shit? Started this, you gave up because you didn't do it long enough. You started this and you gave up because you didn't do it long enough. You didn't see the results instantly. And that's what most people who are successful won't tell you. It takes years sometimes to be successful. That's why most businesses fail in the first 5 years, because it's hard. The beginning is hard. Most people see businesses when they're 10 years, 15 years, 20 years in. They done went through some ups and downs if they are still in business. It's the trap. When you start something and you don't finish and you keep starting shit over and over again, that is a trap, because you are not a completer. Most people today start everything but finish nothing. They got a new YouTube channel. They did the artwork. They did one video. It didn't pop off. They did two. It didn't pop off. Then they say, okay, I'm going to start a podcast. Then they do that. It don't work. They say, okay, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to do this new project, this new idea. But you never stay long enough to reach the diamonds. Is that a problem for most of us, not staying long enough to reach those diamonds in our life? The truth is, success doesn't belong to the talented. Success really belongs to the last person who is still digging for their goals and their dreams. When I wanted to get into dental school, I couldn't be one of those people who was like, okay, I want to get in and I didn't get in the first time, so let me quit. No, you got to be like, you know what? I'm going to keep going and try again and again until I can't try no more. And when is that? Because you can always try as long as you have breath in your body, right? A couple days ago, I was just looking at my analytics and I saw places like Milan listening. I was like, somebody listening to the Hood2Hooded Podcast in Milan? What? Let me not quit on myself. That's a diamond right there. It didn't come in 1 year. It came after 3 years of me literally uploading and having no freaking listeners. So I think y'all starting to get the moral of the story. People will tune in from all over the world, but they have no opportunity to do that, to find your business or to find the power that you have, the voice that you have, if you don't keep going, right? The diamonds were always there, but your belief in yourself wasn't there. The ambition wasn't there. You had a lot of things that require growth, that require you to go through life and experience life and mess up sometimes and get back up. And in life, I'm learning that it's all a big experience where you always going to make mistakes and you can't ever give up. We're going to talk about the culture of quitting. It's so bad nowadays, the culture of quitting. I mean, we live in a culture that rewards starting things, right? But success rewards finishing things. Does that make sense? So we live in a culture where, oh my God, I started this, I got in, I started my business, or you're launching something. But success rewards the people who are completers. Everybody loves the idea of success. Nobody loves the process of digging for success. Nobody loves the process of digging for those diamonds. Digging is boring. Digging is repetitive. It sometimes gets lonely. My podcast has been for 3 years just lonely in the world. Like, is anybody out there? Can you hear me? Digging feels like nothing is even happening. You don't even see the results. But here's the truth most people do not understand about digging. Diamonds are buried under pressure and time. Think about that. The diamonds you want, they bury under pressure. You're going to have to face a lot of pressure. Sometimes it may take a longer length of time than you expected. This is the same way breakthroughs happen, right? So let's give you guys a real life example of a breakthrough. Dental school. For me, dental school is 4 years. Of course, you got pre-dental and all the prerequisites and all that stuff. You got 4 years before you even get in. But once you get in, that's 4 years of studying. Exams, that's debt, that's clinical hours, that's stress. And guess what? For 4 years, it does not feel like success. It feels like you are digging. It feels like you really in the trenches, like digging. And really, if you slack off any point during dental school, like you just like, oh, I don't feel like studying, you're going to flunk out. Nobody's going to care. Because these are your diamonds you created. These are the diamonds that you are fighting for. And if you quit, who's gonna save you? Middle school, you go 4 years and you feel like nothing is happening. You don't have your degree, but baby, listen, on graduation day, that's the diamond. Nobody can take that moment away. You took 8 years out of your life to study and take tests and do boards and do all this stuff and requirements. And this is for any degree, any major. And when you get to the end of graduation, this means you completed something. A lot of people drop out. They drop out of high school. They drop out of college. They drop out of their business. They drop out of life. They drop out of self-respect for themselves. They drop out of they quit a lot of things in life. But the people who stay in it and keep digging, they fight through the exhaustion. They fight through the tough days. They fight through all the family drama, all the people who hating on them, being the black sheep. They fight through all of these different moments just so they can make it to graduation day. No one can take that moment away from you, right? Life works the exact same way. How do you know you're close to a breakthrough? Since we live in this quit culture, since we know everybody want to quit every day, how do you know when your breakthrough is right here so you don't keep starting over? Most people quit before these signs appear. Number one, you feel like quitting. I know it sounds cliche, but it's the easiest sign that your breakthrough is on the way is when you feel like quitting. This is the biggest one. This is the moment where your mind says, this isn't working. This is often the moment right before you break through the wall and the diamonds just flood your life. Take my podcast, for example. I was really thinking about like incognito, not going live as much, like really honing back into me and closing all of this energy and inspiration in because I felt like, dang, it's not working. And I noticed a pattern. Dang, I can't keep saying, I finish stuff, of course, because I'm a dentist, but there are a lot of areas in life where I don't finish stuff. I start it and it don't work and I move on to something else. And we can't keep doing that because we're digging for diamonds. Every time you fold under pressure, every time you fold when something ain't working and you give up on yourself, you got to start all over again. You have to get the momentum all over again. So if you've been feeling like quitting lately, let me tell you, your breakthrough is right there. It's right there. Number two, you start seeing small signals. I mean, not huge success, but just tiny acts of confirmation that your message is reaching somewhere. A message from someone might be another example. A random supporter, a comment. These are all clues. Or you get someone who purchases an item from your business. Or you finally pass a test. Or I don't know. Whatever it is, you're going to start to see small signs that you are succeeding. With my podcast, I started to see small signs just recently like, whoa, this many downloads in a week. Someone's finally found me. And it made me feel so good. Like, I can't even lie. The third sign that you are almost to your breakthrough is if you start to feel resistant, okay? When you are close to growing, life is going to get uncomfortable. Most people are scared to be uncomfortable. They are scared and they are in fear of being successful. Some people feel like, oh, it's going to be more work, it's going to be more stress, it's going to be more pressure. But remember, what does pressure create, guys? Diamonds. So if you're feeling a lot of resistance, you're feeling some pressure, guess what? This is your diamond moment breakthrough. My last semester in dental school was the hardest. I had to have an emergency surgery in January. I had to miss 6 weeks of school the last semester at Meharry. I had to miss like the balls and I had to take a medication that completely nearly wiped me off the earth. But this was the moment where I was enraged, going through this chemo medicine. I ended up homeless, ended up so stressed and under pressure. But one thing I could not let go of is that I was almost there to the diamonds. And I refused. I didn't care if I had to sleep in the homeless shelter a couple nights. I didn't care if I was homeless. I didn't care what was going on. I didn't care if I was sick. I had to fight for my degree. And this is the same way I want you to fight for your life. When it gets to the point where you feel like you want to quit, you crying, you going through it, everything crumbling, this is your breakthrough moment. Because even if you don't have any tangible things to show for it, if you make it through this moment, this experience you will never forget. This is going to make you so strong. Being uncomfortable, knowing that it's hard as hell and you can't go nowhere but up. When you fall all the way down, like felt all the way down. They're going through a whole 4 years of dental school. I got to a moment where I felt all the way down and it almost seemed impossible. But when you have a mindset to say, baby, listen, I don't care if I got to go through hell and high water, I'm going to make it. This is my moment. I want you to go and get those diamonds. That resistance you feel, that's on purpose. That pressure, that creates those diamonds. All right? Number 4 is another sign that your breakthrough is most here. Is when you're getting better, but not famous yet. Some people want fame. Some people want the audience. Some people want to build that community. And that takes time. As long as you are getting better every day, perfecting your craft, getting better with, say you got a YouTube channel, you getting better with your thumbnails, you getting better learning your audience, or say you trying to go back to school, you getting better and you take different classes, you completing your prerequisites. This can apply to anything. When you're not famous yet, or you haven't met the goal yet, but you are getting better. This is a sign of a breakthrough. Your skills improve before your results. See, me with podcasting, when I was in my first year or two, I wasn't that good. I was just uploading. I didn't have a direction. I just knew I wanted to do it. But now I have more efficiency when it comes to being a podcaster. My craft has improved. And it's improved before I even got to the audience. Sometimes we want an audience. Sometimes we want a community. And we're not even ready for it yet. We're not even consistent enough to have that type of community. We don't even have enough experience. We haven't went through enough breakthroughs. And we haven't stayed strong long enough to have that audience yet. So stay down until you show time. Right? Your discipline grows before the money comes. In order for you to get this money that you want, you need the discipline first. Okay? Number 5 thing that is the last sign that we're going to talk about of your breakthrough being right here. How close did I say we were? Millimeters away from a breakthrough. Millimeters away from a diamond. How do you know? Because the vision won't leave you alone. You're going to keep thinking about it over and over and over again. If you keep thinking about something, that is not random. That is your purpose kicking you and knocking like, it's time. Are you going to keep going? Are you going to be a quitter today? Are you going to keep playing around with your time? Or are you going to keep digging? That's your purpose calling and telling you to keep digging. Let's talk about some practical ways that you can keep digging. Let's talk about strategy, because motivation fades. We talk so much about motivation, and I'm the motivational dentist, but motivation fades. What's going to keep you moving is having a strategy. Systems keep you moving. Number 1, lower the pressure. Your first job is consistency, not perfection. You don't need 1 million listeners. You need 100 real ones. And for me, all I seen was like couple dozen, and it just changed my whole perspective. I'm like, okay, someone really needs to hear this. I can't quit now. Why would I quit now? Number 2 is to track your progress. For a while, I was tracking my downloads and they stood at 1 or 2, and now they have just spiked. I track my growth, and you should track your growth. You should track your engagement. Small growth is very motivating. Number 3, focus on impact, not numbers. Even if one person hears your message, that's important. And that's what made me like going, guys. Once you make up in your mind, I'm not going to stop until I get my diamond, it's nothing going to stop you. There's no way I could have just said, you know what, I'm in this homeless shelter. I'm just going to sit here. No. I walked from the homeless shelter to Meharry. Hey, what I got to do? What I need to do? I got to get my degree. I'm not letting it go until I get my degree. This is how persistent you have to be. Number 4, right, is set a no-quit timeline. Instead of emotionally quitting all the time, commit to say, hey, I'll do this for 3 years. I'm going to do this for 500 episodes and then reevaluate. Just recently, and I know it sounds crazy, I made a commitment to do 1,000 CE courses a year of implantology and just dental courses, because I just want to be the best as I can be for my own personal goals. So you have to set sometimes crazy standards. And if you set them really high and you don't reach the whole depth of your goal, at least you try. Imagine the people who never even try. Imagine the people who don't set goals. Imagine the people who don't even try, so they can't even fail because they're so scared to fail that they don't even try. Listen, failure is a part of playing the game. You're going to lose some, you're going to win some. Quitting is not. Sometimes it might not work out completely, but that doesn't mean you quit. You get back up, reevaluate, and try it again. Number 5 tip is remember why you started. I will never forget this tip because this is one of the things that got me through dental school when the nights was lonely and you're studying all night and you're studying till 5 a.m. and your test is at 7 a.m. You got 2 hours of sleep at the school. You got to remember your why. You can't be like, well, my sleep is more important than my why. No. You have to remember why you started. What is your purpose? Okay? Purpose is stronger than motivation. Remember, we all start being motivated. We all can start a dream. We all can start a goal. But once that motivation fades, when you've been digging, what's going to make you dig deeper? What is going to make you keep digging when you're tired, when you're exhausted? It's your purpose. Once you find your purpose, nothing can break you. I'm doing this because I have a reason. I'm showing up live on the Hood2Hooded Podcast because I have a purpose to inspire people who came from backgrounds like my own to keep going and to know that you too deserve diamonds. You too are the owner of the diamonds of your life. You too can have it, but you're going to have to go through some pressure and be okay with that and expect the pressure. Expect those valleys in your life. Expect that. If you're going through something right now, and I know a lot of people going through something right now with this jacked up economy, with this jacked up president, with this war going on, with the grocery prices, with the rent, everything is jacked up right now. But listen, don't let it break your spirit, because that's the whole purpose of all of these different things, and it's to break your spirit. Don't let nothing break your spirit. We've been here on this earth for forever. Nothing can break our spirit, guys, especially if you need you a merry Indian. You know who you are. You already know you've been set up to fail. You've been set up to go into the trap. What they call it, in the trap. Don't get trapped in the trap. Get out of the trap, all right? Keep digging for those diamonds. Now, as we get to the end of this, I want to give a shout out to my listeners around the world. Like, seriously, I just want to tell y'all, these are the people who actually are tuning in. Because this podcast isn't just my voice, it's a community. So if you're listening in New York, Atlanta, California, London, Toronto, Milan, wherever you are, just know that you are a part of the Hood2Hooded movement, from the struggle to the elevation, from digging to the diamonds. And I appreciate every single download, every single heart y'all pump, every single person who listens. I am so grateful because I know how it feels to have zero, to start from zero. Which side are you going to be on, guys? The quitter or the diggers? The diamonds belongs to the ones who keep swinging the pickaxe. So if you tired, keep digging. If you feel invisible, keep digging. If nobody believes in you, I didn't say it's somebody, if nobody believes in you, keep digging. Because one day you're going to break through that wall, and on the other side of that wall is going to be everything you ever worked for.
Just got a bed and a cake. Blow the candles out, feeling like LeBron James.